like you're standing in front of a classroom with students who aren't listening to a word that you're saying? I don't even know if they understand me.
I find that all the time in high school too.
You wouldn't believe how much you see translation apps under the table in French immersion.
Wait a second. What if we could find a way to use these apps beyond translation?
What if we could use their phones to make language cool?
Hold on, guys. How are we going to be able to trust that they're actually on their devices for school-related purposes and not just fooling around for fun and games?
They just need to think that they're using their phones to make language learning cool. They just need to think it's cool.
Yeah. We all teach some kind of second language learners, being in a diverse city like Toronto. Let's look into some integration of digital technology into the classroom.
To Google we go.
All right.
No matter how engaging we are, our students love to be on their cell phones. Instead of being that teacher who bans technology in the classroom, why not find a way to integrate it into your teaching? Recently, I've been using the mobile language learning app Busuu to brush up on my own French and to engage my students in language learning in the classroom. Now, Busuu is organized thematically, with the words and phrases that you learn chunked into logical organizational groups as you make your way through the modules. For example, in the beginner level, you start with greeting people and make your way to things such as appearances. Now, Busuu allows for interactivity in a variety of ways. Firstly, the user engages in interactive text composition with the app itself, completing fill-in-the-blank sentences to make meaning. You can see that right there. Now, exercises where the user is asked to listen and to read a conversation and then answer questions for comprehension are also provided, as you can see here. Further, the capability for remote global connection is boasted through this app through corrections on language from native speakers. With this feature, native language speakers of the language you are learning are given the option to correct work that you've submitted. Now, you're also able to help edit other learners' work too. This option opens up social networking capabilities, as you are also able to communicate with and thank your editors. Here you can actually see that Enzo has thanked me for my assistance. Busuu also does a really good job of providing familiar visual and oral cues to help users learn and remember new words and phrases that they're learning. This has been really helpful for somebody like me that has a very limited background in French. You can see that for you, they've got a picture of a man pointing towards me, and for Il and Elle, they've got a picture of a man and a picture of a woman. Although Busuu is probably best for elementary students, it also allows you to select your learning level up to intermediate B2 and also provides a travel course, which extends its appropriateness into the senior grades as well. The Council of Europe's Common Framework of Reference for Language divides learners into three broad divisions, where intermediate B2 indicates that you are an independent speaker who falls into the upper intermediate category of the language, who can understand the main ideas of complex text and can interact with a degree of fluency that makes interaction with native speakers possible without strain for either party. And you can see the options up at the top there for what level you'd like to work with. Now, I really think that Busuu would be a great addition to your classroom teaching tools. For example, you can use it during structured, independent learning time in the classroom. You can certainly use it to provide formative feedback to your students to track their learning. And what's even better is that students can use it in terms of the immediate feedback provided by the app to track their own learning and progress too, which is something that is expected of the learners in our classroom.
Students alike, I present to you the ultimate memorization tool for language learning, and it's free. Download it onto your phone, tablet, or even your laptop. Use it on the go or in your classroom to mobilize it. Access it through your Google account or Facebook and have it everywhere with you. It has a simple interface that gives you reminders and alerts and even emails to keep you up to date with your language learning skills. Here, check out one of the emails that I've gotten today about the words that I've recently learned. It's really cool and helps me remember what I've been doing. Now, in some languages, grammar gets really confusing. Ever wonder why the grammar rules are the way they are? Let Memorize give you a mini history lesson as to why they are the way they are. This app explains it all for you. For example, in German, you have different conjugations of words. So this is the I conjugation, and it explains it all to you, and the du conjugation, the you conjugation, and explains how it's different. One of the hardest things in the German language is those gender conjugations. There comes a point where things just sound right, but not for memorize. They will explain every aspect of grammar to you, including fun images to help you remember the sayings. For example, in trying to remember the mir form, or me in terms of belonging to you, they'll give you this cute little image. The image says, mir, myself in receiving, M-I-R. It's a really helpful hint that helps me remember things. Need other helpful hints? Here they are. Let's switch over to French. I have, comment, how. How were the comments? Great way to remember it. As well, tu vas. Are you going to use the Vaseline? You go. Really great way to remember it. Finally, there are some funky letters in other languages that don't represent the alphabet that we're used to, like the S sharp sound in German. Not only does Memorize say it for you so you can hear the sound, but it will also give you a complete explanation. For example, the sharp S, as you saw earlier in Ich heiße, is completely explained for you right here. Now, for all you teachers out there looking for a way to engage your students, the leaderboard option gives you a perfect way to track your students' process. It's also a safe way because you can control who's in each leaderboard. Create fun competitions to encourage your students to set goals and complete levels as fast as possible. Here's an example of what your leaderboard will look like. Right now, I'm the only one in it, but I can add people at the top by their usernames. Now let your mind grow with Memorize. It has a really cool way of inspiring you to grow by literally having little flowers here that are growing as you complete the levels. It's a really positive way of learning your language process. Don't believe me? It has an extremely high rating of 4.7 out of 5 stars on Google Play Store. Engage your students and your class with Memorize and help their memory rise to the next level of language learning.
I'm always trying to find ways to encourage and motivate students to learn a subject that they may not necessarily be interested in. This isn't always easy and can be quite challenging, but now with technology and young people's interest in it, there's a great opportunity to use this interest to teachers' advantage by combining language learning and technology. For some teachers, it may seem counterintuitive to integrate technology as an important part of the classroom, but I find with the right applications, technology can really enhance student engagement and learning. One really great online learning app that I've started using is Duolingo. It's free and only requires an account set up with email. Initially, I started using it to learn German on my own, but after seeing firsthand the app's features and the user-friendliness of its interface, I figured it could be effective in my own French language classroom. Duolingo's content is organized thematically, either by notional categories or by grammatical features. This makes learning a little easier since users are able to make logical associations from the onset and focus on specific skills. For example, there are notional categories like basic greetings, describing oneself, and to practice specific grammar points like possessive articles. Duolingo integrates reading, writing, or in this case typing, listening, and speaking, along with using visual cues to make learning more comprehensive. For example, members use images to learn new vocabulary at the beginning of every lesson, then build on their knowledge to learn grammar by translating short phrases or sentences. There's even the possibility to learn new content or review content specific to the question by hovering and selecting the new or unfamiliar word on the spot. Duolingo may be geared more towards adolescent and adult learners, given the extent of some of the grammatical explanations, but I think it could still be quite helpful for junior learners like grades 4, 5, and 6, since it does teach basic vocabulary and many grammatical skills that this age group are learning in school, especially in extended French and French immersion classes based on the Ontario curriculum. Duolingo also provides a progress tracking feature and opportunities to review previous lessons and practice vocabulary using flashcards, also with access to more comprehensive explanations and examples of more complex grammar and spelling conventions. Duolingo also sends reminder emails to practice on a regular basis, which is necessary for effective long-term language learning, as all language teachers know. Duolingo would not only be an effective teaching tool to include in the classroom in and of itself with all of its user-friendly language and features and accessibility, but also because this app includes a virtual classroom function, teachers can use it to help their students practice specific vocabulary or grammar skills, to create assignments for individuals of different levels, or to engage the entire class in a specific activity, all the while tracking student progress and submission online. and this can be done pretty easily when the teacher invites or emails the virtual classroom link to students. Overall, I think that Duolingo can be an effective teaching and learning tool in the classroom and outside of the classroom during users' own time, given its online platform, organization of content, and user-friendliness of the dashboard. Also, other features like progress tracking, virtual currency, and opportunities to compete with invited friends can encourage users further.